my god, oh 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 my god. What is up, guys? It's Cal, and I finally did it. It took like 300 attempts, but I finally beated the Feltotem, whatchamacallit, whatever it is. It's a scenario that the Mage Tower on the Broken Shores offers you. Now, I'm not going to do like a video like describing the Mage Tower like how I did with the Nether Disruptor or the Command Center. I mean, the Mage Tower pretty much gives you a buff for 3 days where World Quests give you extra AP, whatever. Just do World Quests, you'll get AP. But it offers this Mage Tower artifact thing where you go in, you kill this super hard mob, which by the way is tuned for people who are progressing through heroic, what's it called, Tome of Sargeras. As we're recording this, Tome of Sargeras isn't exactly out yet. So needless to say, it's very difficult. It's not easy at all. There's a bunch of different variations. This is Beastmasters. I know, I think Destruction Warlocks have the same one. Windwalker Monks. There's different DPS specs that have the same one. So I'm gonna like kind of let it play as I talk over like preparing for it, and then we're gonna rewind, and I'm gonna describe the entire situation, I guess, how to go about it. So to even get into the scenario, it does cost 100 nether shards. Now the first time you do it, I think it's the first time a day, it's free, costs no nether shards, and then every attempt after that costs 100. You might wanna, don't think like, oh, I have 1,000 nether shards, I'll be able to do it. Well, you might if you're really good. My item level, by the way, is 902. Last Mage Tower I was like at 896, I think, and I didn't get nearly as close as I was getting today, so I would recommend at least item level 900 if you're really good, because this is all like mechanics based. DPS is not a problem for me at all. If you're really good at following mechanics, 890, I don't think you can possibly do it with an item level lower than 890, but you can always try, you know, doesn't hurt to try. Well, it does hurt your nether shards because it costs 100 each, but you could still try. Now on top of that, you want a flask, of course. Your Jelly Flask, Intellect Flask, you know what your main stat is, use that flask. You want potions. I use Prolonged Power Potions. Sometimes the Deadly Grace Potions are better for some classes. You might want to test it out. I know for hunters at least Beastmaster hunters, Prolonged Powers are better than the Deadly Grace Potions. And then you want to use one of those before the fight, before you start combat, of course. And then another one, you'll use another one when you have to attack the Worm, because you have to kill both of them. The Tauren has 166 million health, the Worm has I think like 69 million health. So yeah, you do have to kill both of them. Now, you have to kill, I believe, both of them like at roughly the same time, because I think when one dies, the other enrages, or it's when the Tauren dies, the Worm enrages and one-shots you. I don't know, but you do actually want to kill like the Worm just moments before you kill the Tauren. So don't kill the Tauren first, because I'm pretty sure the Worm will just go psycho and you'll die. Now, pets. Beastmaster hunters. You can use exotic pets. You want a pet with hero, so get a core hound. Nether rays also have hero, but I don't think nether rays are exotic, but it doesn't matter. You're not actually going to use that pet during the fight. You're actually just going to use it at the very beginning. Now, you don't want to dismiss your pet at all throughout the fight. You don't want your pet to die throughout the fight, because it becomes 110% more difficult. If your pet dies throughout the fight, and then you res your pet cannot get aggro. It's impossible for your pet to grab aggro. No matter how many times he growls, no matter how many times you use misdirect on him, your pet cannot get aggro. You will have aggro, you will take a lot more damage. So you want a hero pet, and you want a Spirit Beast. I use Bullwinkle. I made a video some time ago on where to get Bullwinkle, but he's one of many Spirit Beasts you can use. The reason you want a Spirit Beast is because you need that passive healing. Now, my main difficulty throughout this whole thing is I didn't have enough healing. Now, I'll talk about Legendaries in a moment, but about the Spirit Beast, you want to create a macro for your kill command. Don't do it for Cobra Shot. I did it for Cobra Shot before, and it kind of messes you up. Essentially what it does is it casts kill command, it targets you for a split second, casts your pet's heal on you, and then it targets your last target. You won't even notice it target you, but it will just, every 30 seconds, your pet will heal you with its Spearmend. Now the reason you don't do it on Cobra Shot is because you use Cobra Shot a lot more than kill command, because it doesn't have cooldown, and using that macro will actually cancel your auto shot, and auto shot is super important for Beastmaster hunters, so you get those Dire Frenzy or Dire Beast procs. You Beastmaster hunters know what I'm talking about. Now let's talk about Legendaries before I talk about talents. For Legendaries, the most important legendary is actually the legendary pants, which I don't have. I had to do it a much harder way because I didn't have the legendary pants. The reason the legendary pants are so good is because they have a ridiculous heal that they can do on you, and as I said before, that was my biggest problem. DPS wasn't my problem, it was I didn't have enough healing. You know, hunters only have so much healing. You got Aspect of the Turtle, you got Acceleration, you got Spirit Mend, and that's about it. Now if you don't have the legendary pants, I'll obviously tell you what to do because I did not have them. So if you don't have them, you want your two best DPS legendaries, of course. I have the DPS shoulders and the DPS belt, which are the best Beastmaster Hunter legendaries. But if you have the pants, you want to wear the pants and then your best DPS legendary. Now for talents, these are my talents on the screen. You can have whatever DPS talents you want. You know, I'm not telling you that these are the ones you have to do, these are just what fit my playstyle the best. Now what's the most important is the, I think that's the 5th tier, the 75 tier, is that if you have the legendary pants, you can use whichever one you want. In fact, it might be better to go with Wyvern Sting, just because you might need a 3rd interrupt in case you screw up, but if you don't have the legendary pants, you need Wyvern Sting, because you have to interrupt the worms. The worm does a screech thing, and you need to use Wyvern Sting to interrupt that, because that's going to be doing the most damage to you, and the legendary pants can heal through that. And that's another thing, interrupts, is that the Tor will do this thing called Fell Burst, I think, which will just one-shot your pet. You have to interrupt it. Now he does it every like 20 seconds, so your counter shot can't interrupt every one, so you do actually need to alternate between counter shot and freezing trap to do that. Now freezing trap is a little harder to deal with if you're a scrub clicker like me, because I have to click under them. I know people are going to say, well, this would be a lot easier if you weren't a clicker. You know what? You're probably right. So just find the best method for you to use freezing trap. And then as I just said, the worm will do a screech that you do need to interrupt. I'll go all into that in just a minute. And by a minute, I mean right now. So let's, now that you've watched pretty much the entire thing, let's rewind and I'll explain more in depth in the fight what I'm exactly doing. So here we are starting out here, just eating some food. Make sure you get your flask, make sure you got your food. I'm also dismissing a pet at the moment just because there is a strange glitch that can happen where your main pet will just start out with low health, making sure that's not the case. So I'm redismissing Bullwinkle. I'm going to take out my hero pet, and I'm also going to put the Tauren on my focus, which you'll see in a moment. I use hero here, dismiss my pet, pull out Bullwinkle, use misdirect, and then use my prolong power, and then I start out on him. He's casting Fell Burst, use counter shot on that to interrupt, and then the worm is going to cast the Screech. Use Wyvern Sting to interrupt that if you know, if that's the case, if that's what you have to do. Those spikes will come out of the ground, dodge those, and that's pretty much it. Just kidding, that's not the entire thing. Then he's going to do Earthquake. This is kind of the phase 2. These spikes will come out of the ceiling, make sure they don't hit you or they'll do a lot of damage. Right after he finishes casting Earthquake, he will cast another Fell Burst. Interrupt that with your Ice Trap. These eggs will come down. It'll start out being 2 eggs. You gotta kill the eggs or else they will spawn out worms that have the remaining health of the eggs. So kill the eggs and then kill the worms that come out of them. He just casted another Fell Burst, so he's counter shot on that, and while you're doing this entire phase, the worm has to run into those spikes. It will fixate on you. Make sure you're walking around the spikes. When the worm comes back up, use Wyvern Sting on it. He'll immediately screech every time he comes back up. So then he also casts this totem that comes out. You might have just saw that. Totem comes out. Kill the totem immediately. Right after you kill the totem, use Ice Trap on him because he'll start doing Fell Burst, as you just saw. And I mean, really, those are like the only cues I could tell of when Fell Burst would happen. The rest you'll just have to make sure you watch out for his cast bar. That's why I put his focus in the middle of my screen, so I would always be able to see his cast bar. It might be confusing to you, but yeah. See, as you see here, I'm just kind of walking around the spikes, making sure the worm runs into those spikes. The reason that the worm has to run into the spikes is because he starts out taking 90% less damage. He has 90 stacks of a buff. Sorry. He has 9 stacks of a buff, not 90. Every time he runs into one of those spikes, the 1 stack goes off, and there's 3 spikes each. So in a perfect world, he will you'll only have to do that phase 3 times, or not that phase 3 times, but you'll only have to make him run into those spikes through 3 of the phases. And then when that happens, just interrupting Fel Burst here, which is about to happen because I just did the second one. The third one is about to start up. And when that third one happens, you want to start attacking him. Because as I said before, they kind of have to die at roughly at the same time. So I think, no, there's still 2 eggs that spawn. At a certain point, there's going to be 3 eggs that spawn. And then when, like, you're almost done, when the fight's almost over, it ends with 4 eggs. So I'm just having him run over the spikes. The thing is, he's not going to have all of his stacks off, which you'll see when I start attacking him. You'll see his buff. He's not going to have all the stacks off. It's not a huge deal. He will take less damage if he has those stacks on. See, he didn't run over one of the spikes. I think, I can't really tell how many spikes or how many buffs he has at the moment, but he has like 1 or 2. And now I'm starting to attack him. So make sure you're still watching out for the Tauren's Fel Burst ability, Counter Shot, or Ice Trap. Make sure you know which one is next, because you won't be able to do them. Like, you won't be able to Counter Shot each time, or you won't be able to Ice Trap each time. Make sure you know that, because that is like the biggest, that was my biggest mess up really. So here we are. I just need him to run over like 1 or 2 more spikes. That's really it. And when he goes down under, you have to attack the Tauren. But make sure you don't kill the Tauren, because there was a certain point where I just had to stop DPSing Tauren. Make sure you kill the totem. Still kill the totem. There's a point where I had to stop DPSing the Tauren because I didn't want to kill him before I killed the worm. That point might happen. He runs over 2 spikes right here. Or no, I think he just ran over 1. Or he might have not ran over any at all. I don't really know. But that's probably the entire fight. There's a lot that goes on. And it's not easy, but see, he comes back up. And try that first screech he does when he comes back up. Try to Wyvern Sting that. Like, that, sometimes I would miss that. But that is a lot of health that does to you. Just like 400-ish, 600-ish K each time it hits. So yeah. And now I'm killing the worm. And then, as I said before, when the worm goes under, you kill the Tauren. Still, of course, remember to kill the worm before you kill the Tauren. But anyways, I'm going to have the rest of it just play through here, sped up a bit, and you can watch the fight. And then you can watch me kill him. Yeah.
Hold up.
So here we are, the worm is about to die right now. The Tauren has like no health left. He got this last Fel Burst off, killing my pet. I panic here, I just turtle, use the Phoenix thing to instant res my pet, and the Tauren dies. And I was like so relieved, because this was like the hardest thing I've had to do in this game, honestly. And then Navarro comes in, and he's like, cool, you killed him, nice job. And then he creates a portal to Dalaran, and you get a Dalaran, and you're done. So you're put in front of the Council of the Six, and then you have to raise your weapon in front of them. It's kind of self-explanatory at that point, and you just saw the transmog of what it looked like just then. You won't really see it right now because I actually have my gun transmogged into a Wolf Slayer sniper rifle. If it's my transmog more, you get a achievement called a challenging look, and you're done. That is the entire thing. So yeah, that's the whole video, guys. I hope it was helpful at all to you. If it was, you can, sub to the channel for more videos like this. You can like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.